This is just me checking things like my audio quality and whatnot, because I haven't done this in a really long time. As it goes, every time I do this, it feels like a new experience. And I don't know how long I'm going to play. I think I say that every time. I don't know how long I'm going to play. I've never been a big marathon player. I just wanted to play, and I keep putting it off, and I felt like I should do it, or I won't do it. Anyway, let me just check that I've got game audio. I can kind of barely hear it. Okay. Well, hopefully it's good. Or good enough. We'll see. Whatever. I can fix it next time. Okay. This ridiculous playthrough is the adventure of the Vowelless Knights. And these unfortunate fellows are named No A, No E, No I, and No O. And yeah, they're an interesting bunch. They're knights. I used to cheat to make them knights. There's no real reason for them to be knights. The only difference you would ever observe between a fighter and a knight, unless you were class changing in a very unusual time frame, is that if you over leveled to like 15, they would start gaining magic charges. Maybe that'll matter when I get to Astos. But for now, no. Basically, the restriction is they can only use equipment and magic, and even items, I suppose, that don't use the letters that are banned for them. And it started from me saying, like, let's ban a certain letter, let's ban R and see what happens. And it wasn't interesting enough. And I looked at it, and it was like, maybe what if I banned the letter E? And I was like, that's pretty good, but then I don't know exactly what reminded me of everything. But I kind of realized, like this is going to be more interesting if I ban them all. And then it reminded me of the Vowelless Knights, the Tower of the Vowelless Knights, the Great Northern Tower from Might and Magic Dark Side of Zine. And so it's now a bit of a really bizarre tribute. Rapier has a lot of vowels, but it doesn't have an O. Small Dagger doesn't have an I. But all of the other weapons have either an A or an E. Actually, they have both an A or an E. Or the wooden nunchuck doesn't have an A, but knights can't use it. So they're going to be pretty low on weapons. And let's see here. Cloth for A. Chain armor is valid for E. For no E. Wooden armor is valid for no I. None of them are valid for no O. So that's going to be a bit goofy. We'll make sure they're equipped. We got O will be kind of our offensive guy, but he's also a bit of a glass cannon, oddly. And it looks like E is going to have the best defense, followed by I. So, I mean, if I want to play the optimization game, I guess I'm going to do, like, E, I, A, O. This is sounding so stupid. Should I beat some imps? I think I should probably level a little. Stupid early game grind type thing. Yeah, being a knight offers no advantage at all. I don't know if it's going to come into play at all, but whatever. I've put my Lewis script that I was using in my other Final Fantasy playthroughs up there that just mildly improves the UI. UI is such a funny thing to say in this game with the Vowelless Knights, huh? There's no U. I realized I did some math. I did some analysis. And having a knight who's not allowed to use the letter U is actually, like, uninteresting. They have relatively few restrictions, so... This is also a new emulator for me. It's a new room for me. It's a new computer for me. There's so much that's different and that can go wrong right now. And so if this stream sucks, you know, maybe I'll learn from it. If it sucks in terms of setup, not if it sucks in terms of content. That's probably not going to get any better. Even the controller. I couldn't find my wired little fake SNES controller. So what I'm playing with right now is actually an Ouya controller I found because it was like the only Bluetooth thing I had with enough buttons. I've heard some people really deriding Ouya controllers only in the last year or so, which I don't really get. I mean, the Ouya stopped being supported in the last year or two. I guess that's a good reason to deride it. I liked the Ouya when it was hot. I was playing games like this on it, and I played a bunch of hacks on it, which was very nice in my previous home. We moved. This is a whole new room. I don't know if I'm going to end up waking up my kids accidentally, but probably not. Oh, wolves. Let's do one at a time and just get them done. And watch the damage numbers here. Oh, come on, man. Frickin'. Oh. Showing everybody else up. That battle wasn't as interesting as I imagined it being in my head. I don't like basically anything other than imps for the first 3 levels when I play this game, especially when it's some kind of challenge run, however mild. I guess I've been fighting stupidly, too. I keep acting as if O has the worst offense, but O has the best offense. In this case, it ended up being a good thing, though. Okay, I is my second best. A and E have nothing. O has a rapier. And, they get some upgrades as we go along, but not that many. It's not really going to be that hard, frankly, by endgame, I don't think. But I don't do these things because they're hard. I do them because they're weird. My very first streamed run, which was probably 5 years ago now, was the ban something run where I got the game FAQs forum. I got every user to ban one element from gameplay. And they ended up being really wacky, and it was really hard to fit them all together and play a challenge that had, you know, more than 10 but different and weird challenge rules. It was cool. It was super cool. I've played only a little bit of FF1 Randomizer. Don't whiff. Oh. No O. Where's that level 2 at? Why is this taking so long? You can tell, I'm already complaining if I have to grind before Astos, it's not going to go well. You know, I'm not expecting Astos to be that bad. I've got one character, I think, who ends up... Yeah, no A ends up eligible for a silver sword later. Silver swords are pretty awesome in the early game. They can... If I can save up enough, that'll let me steamroll a little bit, I think. Although my defense is still going to be sucky. That doesn't matter for Astos, who's kind of the wake-up call boss of the game, right? Oh, the graphics are so funny. I like that there's no space between the character sprites, and it just looks like they're literally all standing on top of each other's heads. It's like a stack of knights. I'm not going to watch my stat gains. I don't have the patience for that, and neither do you. Oh, Grimps. Scary. My stat updating thing is pretty neat, eh? I haven't used it in a couple years. And I was checking it, and it's coded kind of badly. It's the kind of thing that, you know, I don't even remember Lua that well. But I was reading through it just to to remember what it did and how it worked. And one of mine didn't work. The one that showed the little symbols for the status on enemies, I think, stopped working. Maybe it does work. But we're not going to see a lot of status effects on enemies. You know, technically, if I did over-level a fair bit to 15, I could pull a mute on Astos legally. Because the nature of this challenge, so to speak, is 4 knights, and each of them is banned from equipment and spells and effects that use specific letters of the alphabet, and that's it. How hard can it be? So, like I said, I did a little bit of math, mostly about like how this would be interesting. The no you character would have been, depending on how you spell the word armor, if you use like a really traditional old world spelling of the word armor, you might end up with a different result. Even then, it probably wouldn't be that bad, especially if you considered things like chain mail instead of chain armor. I don't know. No, you wouldn't have been interesting. Anyway, the kind of math I didn't do is I didn't check out, and maybe I'll end up having to do this, but I am not sure yet. Finding out at what levels my hit rate thresholds are going to give me extra hits and things like that. I don't know. We should probably have a rest soon. For the early game, you know, like, having no equipment sucks. But the damage is low enough that it's not going to seem like there's very much danger. I don't even think Garland is going to seem like danger. Especially, it seems like I'm leveling up to 3. Maybe I should just go for the cap. The cap does end up being a valid upgrade for everyone but A. Everyone but no A. I don't know, the fighters get so many strong HP levels in the very early game that I kind of think, like, it would just be safety. But let's do it, because this is boring. That's the reasoning. That's all of it. Whoa, this excitement again. Like, fighters start with a damage stat of 10 even with their bare hands. It's pretty ridiculous. Wow. I guess you could say this is really going my way. As for why the characters are knights, if I didn't already address that, and maybe I did, it's because of the Vowelless Knights. The Voweless Knights... It's funny, because if you Google the Voweless Knights, you won't see a whole lot of content. I thought these guys had less HP than this. Huh. You won't see a whole lot. It's it was one of the 4 towers that you would visit in the course of playing Might and Magic: Dark Side of Zine. That game was very much about collectibles to get to the end game, and you didn't even need to do all the dungeons to get all the collectibles. Oops. So, that was funny. I went to do a Saga Frontier control scheme. Let's put it on no eye. Anything that nobody can carry, if I get it at any time, it's not valid for me to hold, like even to sell. They don't hold things. That said, if it ends up in someone's inventory because the treasure chest puts it there or something, that's not considered destroying the challenge or anything. And for that matter, if I have a minor accident I don't care. I'm not gonna whine about the nature of the challenge too much. Oh. No Eye has taken a beating. There we go. Of course he's running. Okay, we'll do Garland. Let's see how this goes. I want to kill chaos. We don't really have a whole lot of strategy available to us here. Yeah, the Vowelless Knights, you fought knights. There were these really cool looking knights. I think one of them's in the sidebar there, just faintly in the background. And there was nothing special about them. By the time you got to that point in the game, everything was kind of just like you would wipe the screen and then just walk through. But Might and Magic has a lot of puzzle areas that you may or may not use air quotes to describe. And the gimmick with the Tower of the Vowelless Knights was they would give you all these common expressions. Like, some of them were from Star Trek because the developers of Might and Magic are big nerds, or were. What was it? There was some Spock quote. Live and let live long and I don't know. Live long and prosper. I think it said live long and prosper at the end of the dungeon when you won. But everything that it wrote had no vowels in it. I wasn't even watching. Okay, that went well. I didn't even get level 3? Man. Okay. So yeah, you would see all these incomplete expressions where you would just see the consonants and you would have to figure out what the common expression was. And some of them were tricky for me. Like, there was at least one of them that I had never heard in my life. And there was at least one that had some kind of typo too. The one that was really obscure was, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride, I think is the expression. And so when you see that with all consonants, I don't know, that one didn't strike me as meaning anything, you know? It wasn't very recognizable to me. A damage rating of 10 is an interesting thing, because what that means is that your raw damage is between 10 and 20, and it's reduced by the target's absorb. So these guys have like a really good chance, as long as they land their hit, of beating an imp with one attack, as long as they don't miss completely. I just want to get those last few experience points for level 3 before I heal, and then I'm going to walk to Provoca. Get my next set of upgrades. Well, my first set of upgrades, perhaps I should say. Like I said, it's been ages since I used this Lewis script, so I don't remember the thresholds for things like see how their hit point totals on the right? This is like 55 out of 58 for no E right now, and it's in green. And then no I is 35 out of 60, and it's in white. And I believe there's a point where it turns red. I don't know if there's a yellow, but I don't remember what those thresholds are. It doesn't matter too much. It's just a funny thing where it's like, I wrote the program that would do this UI change, and I have no idea how it works. I believe it's reliable. Their magic defense value, their strength values are all accurate. I don't care if the run's deathless. In fact, I think it'll be kind of interesting if there is a little bit of death here. I say that because in this game, if a character never dies in battle, as opposed to dying out of battle, then the characters end up with the exact same experience totals. They gain levels at the exact same time, and you'll see their stats progress very similarly. There's a relatively small amount of randomization of stats in this game. In some cases, they're not random at all. So like for these fighters and knights, they gain 1 point of strength every level. Their hit rate is completely static, although it does end up modified by what weapons they're using. That's so little experience. Oh, these guys are a little bit hard for this. I sometimes forget that there's things other than imps. Oh, shit. Well, I was telling you. Hey, look, the little dead icon shows up. That's cute. Being dead is so cute. Frankly, although I do want to save up for that silver sword eventually, there's not a whole lot that I'm saving up my money for. So I don't terribly mind that I'm going to have to revive Noe. It's too bad I couldn't get him level 3 first. That pony was very mad. You know, I feel like... Is it absurd that I feel like I could take a pony? Regardless of how angry it was? Like, ponies aren't... Ponies don't put up a lot of fight. So with regards to the state of the game, I should say, there's a script running that is doing the user interface change on the right in battle. And the change to the battle window, getting rid of that weird frame thing that appears in the middle, that's all part of a Lewis script. And then the characters are all knights, and that's just done with normal cheat application built into the emulator. The emulator's new. I don't like it very much. I don't know. Am I supposed to talk openly about whether I'm emulating or not? I forget the policy on that. But it's FCEUX. And the support for that has changed a lot. I mean, it's what I used to use back in the days when, you know, I was really interested in tool-assisted runs and stuff. And so I just gravitated to it because I know it. But I know it's very much fallen out of favor as a general use NES emulator. I might even switch partway through, I don't know. Here's our level 3 for everyone except Noe. Should I just be calling him Noah? Because the characters are knights, I technically could buy spells. End of thought. Heal potion. Can't be used by any of them. It can be used by me, which means it can be used out of battle, but not in battle. Pure potion can only be used by Noe. I'm unlikely to need them yet, but I'm probably going to need some. I don't know. I'll just buy a couple for safety's sake. I probably should put on a hack, one of those ones to make buying items easier. Powerhouses. So yeah, the game, it probably seems like it's a pretty modified, screwed up game, but really it's not. The script that's running is purely user interface change, and the cheat turns my fighters into knights by changing the class value in memory for each character. I could technically turn it off. It's not doing much of anything. It just seems like I should, because Vowelless Knights. And I think once I get the class promotion legit, I'll get rid of the cheats. Because I'm not terribly comfortable with that. I chose the vanilla game. I thought about running this on Final Fantasy Restored. If there were an issue with that, it's that Final Fantasy Restored, I think, takes a better translation of the items in the game. I think it makes the wooden things leather. You know, that's completely different. I want this to be closer to vanilla. This is not a good idea. at this point in the game. Let's not pretend it is a good idea. It would be fun to win, but it would be easy to lose, you know? Chance to strike first, I should probably do this. I don't remember how strong these guys are. I do remember they show up with giants later, but I don't think they're very fierce on their own, especially with an extra turn to whack away at them. Oh, these guys got some serious hit points. There we go. Okay. Good job, Noe, catching up. I'm so excited for my upgrades. I don't have enough money for all of them. I probably don't want to fight these bozos. I had a bad time with them last time, and nothing's really changed, so... Let me get my upgrades, beat the pirates, and see what happens. Some of my upgrades. Iron armor would be a nice one. How much money do I have? Not very much. Getting a short sword would be sweet. You know, armor is so cheap, I should probably do armor first. Okay. No egg can get a wooden shield. And gloves. They'll never wear a gauntlet, so that's good. Iron armor's 800, which is a bit unfortunate. No eye can also wear gloves. Gloves don't make a big difference or anything, but... And... that's it. That's it until I can afford the iron armor. Yeah, no A is kind of lucky to have a number of shields in the game. No O has completely crappy equipment options for the entire early game. They get a hand axe. But what's neat is they can equip so much silver gear. And silver gear is good. So once we get to the part of the game, Crescent Lake, where we can get all that silver stuff, I think No O will be sitting pretty for a while. You know, it's not exactly going to be endgame strong, but it's not bad at all. You notice, if you look closely, like a little bit of kind of animation artifact every time my characters get hit by an enemy, and that's caused by that Lewis script to change the user interface. Essentially what's happening is it wants to overwrite every pixel, but the way the Lewis scripts run in an emulator, they run one frame behind, so it looks like the screen kind of like jostles a funny little bit, depending on your definition of funny. Oh, come on. You were supposed to be the good fighter around here. I think the last time I streamed anything was earlier this year? Was it earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year. I finished up the Final Fantasy Tactics weird-ass classic run. That was good fun. You know what? I have enough for the iron armor. I'm going to get it out of the way. Iron armor. Iron armor. So only usable by E. No E. Which means I can sell his chain armor, because no one else is using it. Pretty cool to have this good armor on. This makes sense, right? I didn't just break the game. Nope. Iron armor. Chain armor. Okay. Okay, so I do want to save up for some short swords. In fact, they can all get a fairly good weapon upgrade here. I could do scimitars to cheap out for a bit. Yeah, short swords would be nice. Only one of my characters has any substantial armor. Ooh, that could have been worse. Sharks aren't really that profitable, but let's try. Why is fighting a shark so hard? It's not like it's a pony or something. Who did I give the cap to? No eye, right? I wish that was worth more than 66. Not worth it. Yikes. Ugh. Oh, man. Well, there goes all my shark money. And my life. This isn't supposed to be where the paraplink happens. Oh, look at the cute little stun icon. It's paws. This sucks. I wonder if there's any way I could squeak this out now. Dang. Ugh. Look at the damage. Oh, it's awful. The running bug, the normal bug behavior of run, is in play. So, no O's chance to run is completely arbitrary. It's done by comparing his luck to someone else's status bite or something. I am actually dead, aren't I? Wow. And I hadn't saved since Corneria. This is super cool. Oh, this is off to an excellent start. I can't even believe it. Alright, let's do this again so that I remember who is who. Watch the stupid bridge cutscene again. Because my good friend Nasir couldn't put in some kind of single bit to indicate whether you'd already watched this cutscene that was then written to the save file on the cartridge. Come on, man. What about the QOL features? Pixel Remaster wouldn't treat me this way. Here's the stupid iguana again. It's not actually stupid. It has done nothing to deserve my insults. It's more worthwhile than a shark, right? It's certainly a lot easier. The experience values in this game are bizarre. They, the correlation between the difficulty of a creature and its, it actually gives you less benefit than a shark. And the correlation between the difficulty of a monster and the benefit it gives you in return is, you could call it a weak correlation, or you might call it no correlation. I don't know. You know what I should probably do is a little bit of Kaizoku farming. That may be a good way to get those swords I want. I don't remember everything about it. I just remember hard reset, save, hard reset, get on the boat, and in your first, I think, 3 or 4 encounters, at least 2 of them end up being Kaizokus. And the significance of that is that Kaizokus give pretty good money, especially for how hard they are. They actually give you the highest money per experience ratio in the game, so it's a good way to gain money without becoming over-leveled. How bad could this go? It's not often you end up with a epic fight against these pirates. I'm not expecting one here either. I'm not trying to suggest this will be one, but no O is a very unlucky knight. Who's the one with the knife? No I, right? Which means it's not a knife, it's a dagger. If it was a knife, he would never be using it. Iron armor. Wooden shield. Gloves for A and I. Cool. Now with my 52 gold, I'm going to spend 50 of it. I did talk to this guy, right? Look how bad the spriting is. And yet it was still better than Dragon Warrior at the time. Dragon Quest, perhaps I should say. I did enjoy Dragon Quest XI last year. But I don't want to play it again. But there were parts I found neat. I liked that wacky hex-based skill system. I'm gonna try a hard reset. How does this work? So do I get Kaizoku's right away? Yeah. Let's just pile on. These fights would be substantially easier with, you know, actual equipment. What do these guys give? It's like 120 gold each? And they're not very hard? Well, they can dish it out. I mean, that guy's wearing iron armor, and that was a lot of damage. You can see I put my response rate, the very badly named response rate. Yeah, 120, that was exactly right. Pretty cool. I put my response rate to 7. 8 is just like too fast for me. I don't know. I'm so often paying like partial attention here. Hopefully this doesn't go as badly as last time. So that thing where you get Kaizoku's is your first battle in the ship is a primitive RNG manipulation. Something recently was making me think of all the strange things about video games that I just figured out prior to the internet age. I was sharing something on, again, the Final Fantasy 1 board on Game FAQs, I think. And, oh, only one. That's unfortunate. And I was just thinking about the olden days of gaming. And, yeah. There's a lot I figured out about this game. I mean, some of it, I did have access to the Nintendo Power Guide. In fact, I read it before I ever even played this game. But a funny one that came to mind for me was Symphony of the Night. And it had all these obscure equipments. And then so many of the equipments had these obscure spell entry animations that weren't listed anywhere. They did not exist in the game, these weapon effects. And yet I figured out a whole bunch of them. The shield rod, I figured out on my own. And I learned, wow, this shield rod Alucard thing, this kind of breaks some of the game here. Okay, hold reset while I turn the power off. The Crissaegrim, I think I looked up somewhere. I don't think I knew about the Crissaegrim in Symphony of the Night until sometime later. And I certainly didn't know about Rings of Varda. But there was a lot that I just... Back then, you know, it was so... As a teenager, in the age before social media... What else were you gonna do, right? I could be on drugs, or I could play too many video games. Same decisions people are making now. Although some people choose both, and that's great for them. Yeah. I did play a lot of video games as a teenager. And making those discoveries felt neat. And sometimes figuring out something that you were pretty sure, you know, not everyone's figuring this out. Some of the wacky junction crap you would do in Final Fantasy VIII, some of the rare steals and steal combos you would find in some games. Frankly, there weren't a lot of good ones when I think about it. Chrono Trigger, I remember finding out about all of the things you could charm from the enemies on Mount Woe. I never read a Chrono Trigger guide. I think I probably did when I played the DS version, because of that kind of like added side quest that just kind of went on and on and on. I think let's put no O attacking someone else, because he could theoretically smash one of these guys pretty bad. Theoretically. Yeah, he did it. He did it. He smashed them. He listened. He did pretty well the second time, too. Yeah, figuring things out in games is a neat experience. I've probably talked about it before. I mean, I know I don't have any real followers, and why should I? I don't do anything on here. I play for the sake of playing, and sometimes I feel like maybe I'll just put this out there and see if there's a reason to record this. I want to record my challenge runs anyway, and then I throw them on YouTube, right? They get a small handful of views. It's not for anything. It's just someone's appreciating them, right? Oh, that was a good pile of money I just got there. Who wants some equipment? I think we bought all the armor and we just need our hand axe and short swords. Everyone gets an equipment upgrade here. Who should I start with? I'm thinking maybe no E, because he's the most survivable. And he'll get a substantial attack upgrade. And next I guess I'll do no A, because again, no weapon. And yeah. I'm kind of interested to have a hand axe. I used to buy a hand axe when I was young. I thought the idea of having a warrior in the team using an axe was just cool. But axes aren't very practical in this game in most cases. Okay, we're set. It's one of those things that what you love about a variant playthrough of any kind is when it makes you do something you wouldn't normally do. And being restricted to using axes by some means, that's neat. No E should be a pretty darn good fighter now. You can see his damage is 26. Oh, that was not that exciting. I thought he was gonna crush him. Okay, everybody swap. No, I took a bit of a beating there, right? Yeah, RNG manipulations. I wasn't really aware of the term or practice, I guess, which is funny because I knew about this Kaizoku thing. I wasn't really aware of the term or the practice until Golden Sun, when I saw an FAQ on Game FAQs. It was specifically about getting what they called the K sword, which was, I don't know, I'm sure I can pronounce it phonetically, but I don't know if it's proper in Japan, in Japanese maybe I should say. No A has no weapon, right? But the sword is called, it's in a lot of games, like it's in Final Fantasy Tactics, Kikuichi Monji, or Kikuichi Moji in some games. And so they just called it K-Sword. It's going to be funny for Mr. No-O there, going from a rapier to a hand axe, because they're actually going to lose hit rate. Oh well, I'm sure it'll be better. There might be a very short period between two levels where it's not better. Oh, I forgot to do my... Oh well, I'll just run from these guys, fight the other Kaizokus, and then I'll do another save. I don't remember if maybe the fourth battle is also profitable. Maybe I should stick around for the fourth battle. You know, it's funny. There's this game you can play on the ship in Final Fantasy 1. It kind of exists in Final Fantasy 2 as well. It's like a mini game where you do the 16 puzzle that you see on every season of Survivor. And what's not communicated to the player at all is every time you do it, you earn 100 in-game gold points. And so it's funny because you think, if I could run a 16 puzzle solver on this game through a script or something, I could get infinite money very quickly without any experience or progress as soon as I got the ship. If every challenge just said, you've got all the money you'll ever need right away, that'd be an interesting thing. It would be nice for this challenge. I mean, I still want that silver sword eventually, but it's a ways off. Maybe I should skip one short sword and just save up for the silver sword. I'll probably want to do the Marsh Cave before that. But I have some armor I'm going to want to buy in Elfland. It turns out that the 4th battle in the ship after a hard reset is not worth my time or suffering. Back in the olden days, I used to have a fast forward button mapped onto my controller. I don't want to screw around with that now, but it seems like something I should do. Get out of my way, Mohawk guy. Oh yeah. Forgot what I was doing. So maybe I'll just get a hand axe now. I don't know, I don't want to leave no eye with just the small dagger. Ultimately, I would be selling it. I think I'm going to talk myself into just going ahead and saving up for the short sword. You know, the short sword really doesn't look that short. It's got a nice sprite. I was going to comment on the resilience of these pirates, but then I noticed they've only done 1 damage to me. I don't really have very much to complain about. Level 4. That's an asset also. We're getting some slightly disparate stats now. The intelligence stat doesn't do anything anyway. Gaining some luck is good though, because you do like running away. I just wrote a post today on a Gamificus board about how running away in this game is something that I actually really appreciate. And it just sounds like being an idiot and trying to find joy in a badly designed game, but it's not. There's very few games that encourage and or reward running away from a battle the way this one does. Oh, look at this single lonely guy. While he is pathetic and that's somewhat amusing, it means he'll give me less money. I mean, he doesn't give me less money than any other pirate, but in total. Who is this single lonely pirate anyway? Was he marooned? Maybe if I just talked to him, he would join me or something. Short sword for eye. Got a sweet 2 gold back there. Short sword, short sword, short sword. The only vowel is O. Everything's cool, right? That means in 1 level, those guys are going to end up getting an extra hit. That's pretty good. I think I might get to, like, level 5 is still pretty good for Marsh Cave. I think that's going to be the goal. Wait, did I save and reset the RNG again? Because I'm still kind of scamming the whole game here. I forget if I did, so I'm just going to make sure. I don't know exactly at what point the game is considered to be saved. Fight a couple more Kaizokus. Pretty strong crew now. I mean, potentially. They're gonna whiff sometimes. Okay, they might not be as strong as I thought. Oh, there we go. No, I did a really good job there. I'm pretty sure that every single game I've ever played on stream has been Final Fantasy. I do enjoy the early games in the series, but it's not the only thing I play. A couple hours ago, my 7-year-old and I beat Cadence of Hyrule for the first time. Playing Cadence of Hyrule was a delightful experience. The music is so good, and it was a really good game to play with someone else. Playing it 2-player probably takes down the difficulty a good few notches. I don't know if it scales the way enemies work or anything like that. But because if one person dies, the other person often has a chance to save them, and then you don't lose all your rupees every time you die. Because if one person makes it through, you're okay. It's actually a pretty neat experience for that reason. Really good for co-op with a kid. And my son got pretty used to moving on the beat, too. Encrypta the Necrodancer, which is kind of the game system that Cadence of Hyrule was built on, and Cadence of Hyrule itself is a crossover with it. The controls were really, like, sensitive, because it was built to be played only with directional inputs. And what that means is if you accidentally push up and right at the same time, you'll, like, accidentally use a spell or an item or something. And when your dexterity is the limiting factor in your playing, as it sometimes is with young people or people with fat fingers like me, that can be a little frustrating. And so Cadence of Hyrule fixes that. Why am I even spending this money? I'm going to do it anyway. When we gain our next level, there's going to be a brief 1-level period where this is going to be worse. And the reason why is because you get multiple hits in a round, and they're based on your hit rate, and your hit rate is a completely static statistic for each class in this game. Every 32 hit rate you have, you gain an extra hit. And since weapons give a bonus to hit rate, your weapon can affect your number of hits. And so a rapier, even though it's weaker, is going to be better if it does 2 hits than the hand axe would be doing 1 hit. I'm going to enjoy seeing that axe come out. Let's see it, Noah. Why didn't I put them attacking the same guy? Focus fire here, everyone. Good axe. Yeah, those 2 hits, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to make things like this much faster. Let's put no O on this bottom guy, see if he can take him out on his own. He says no. They're doing okay, though. They're doing okay. I mean, you literally, once you get that additional hit, you get twice as strong all of a sudden. For that to happen at just level 5 is pretty special. Oh, man. This fight's longer than it should be. $600 gold, though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, like, no E's absorb rating is, like, 24 right now. All of them would have that, which would mean they would take potentially 24 less damage from every attack if this were a normal playthrough, and if I were willing to grind a little more for the money. I think I might fight this. Is that crazy? I'm gonna fight it. We have good weapons. If I get average damage rolls, this is gonna be just a couple rounds. The ogre gives a good amount of money. Might even be this round. Yeah, there we go. Good. Good job, everybody. All you Voweless folks. And the creep, I think, has about 60 hit points. We've done 25. There we go. Good. Good job, team. You didn't disappoint me like you did that one time against the Odd Eye. Yes, I remember that. This shop fills me with bitter memories of the time I was doing the ban something challenge, and I was like told I could only go into each shop once, and I walked in and forgot to buy something. I was like so excited for a silver sword, I think, and then I forgot to buy the silver sword after selling all my gear. So here, the only upgrade I can actually get that's an actual upgrade is the silver sword. So I can't buy anything there yet because it's expensive. How expensive is it? Is it 2,000 or 4,000? 4,000. Oh, man. That's expensive. We can get a few armors, though. We got the cap on No Eye, but No Eye can actually get a wooden helm here. So let's give the cap to No E. Okay, the copper bracelet technically is an upgrade for No Eye, but it's so minor that I don't think I care. No A can use an iron shield. It's not a big upgrade, but it's an upgrade, and it's not very expensive. And a wooden helm. Yes. No E just got a cap. No I can actually use a wooden helm. And no O can use a cap. Which is very exciting. That's no O's first armor, and only armor for a while. Okay, let's see this mess. Where does that put our actual absorb stats? 25, 8, 9, 1. So our middle two characters have actually swapped in terms of defensive efficacy, and they're all relatively equal in terms of their output. And that's all we have to buy right now. We end up with 500 extra bucks. I'm gonna save, and I think it's pretty important that we get level 5. Let's get level 5 before we consider doing anything else. Hopefully we don't get poisoned. I forget if I even bought pure potions. Did I? I should know that. I did not. I thought it was going to be arachnids for sure. Alright, should we fight this? It's not very worthwhile. But if they dogpile, haha, on no E, it won't be a bad fight. This really wasn't bad in terms of damage taken or anything, so I should probably be happy about that. It's not good experience. I was thinking recently about the invention of hit points, and I was thinking it's probably really easy to attribute that to Dungeons and Dragons, or possibly its immediate predecessors. But like, there had to have been some Greek guy who thought it was a really good idea to quantify someone's well-being, right? That sounds like something some Greek guy would have been doing. And then they probably would have had him, like, killed or something. Oh, look at that! That's so cute! Whoa. For a second it showed the dude as dead. But the poison icon was really neat. Ugh. Is this anyone's favorite part of the game? The part where you drag the poison guy around and he screeches the whole time? I should have known better. So I can use items freely, but the knights have to observe their vowelless ways. Meaning that nobody can use an Healpotion in battle. But a pure potion, which only has 3 vowels in it, technically A could use that if he wanted to. In battle. I don't generally do things like that in battle. For that matter, I don't use that many consumables when I don't have to. Having 99 heal potions at endgame, yeah, that's pretty normal, but... I remember when I got the NES Advantage joystick as a kid, and it was like, the one thing that meant was not having to repeatedly tap the A button for heal potions. That was like the main use of my NES Advantage, which I still have around here somewhere. I moved not that long ago, and most of my gaming stuff is still put away, and that's why the shelves you can see behind me are bare. The mantle is covered in tools because I just put the shelves up. Yeah, the NES Advantage didn't do much else for me. When you've got non-analog movement, a joystick... I'm sure some people think that's great, but I don't really get the point. I've never been a fight stick kind of person. Maybe I don't play enough fighting games. I've never been super good at command inputs either, especially for like, you know, the dragon uppercut. But I have to tell you, I was playing Smash Bros. Earlier, and maybe it's because Smash Bros. Ultimate, you know, I'm using a Switch Pro controller. It's got a good analog stick on it when it's not drifting. And I can do Kazuya's command inputs pretty easily, and there are kind of a whole bunch of them that I know and use regularly, including his equivalent of the Dragon Uppercut, which I forget its name. It's not the Thunder Screw, because the Thunder Screw is the one where he spins, right? Trying to remember my Tekken days. I was pretty good at Tekken 2. My ones I got especially good at. 2 for a little bit, but then 3 came out and 2 was forgotten. But I played a lot of Tekken 3 and a lot of Tekken 5. Got pretty good at Tekken 5, and I attribute to the group of people I was playing with. You know, once a game becomes competitive and interesting, you get better at it. In this case, I was working at a company in the east end of Toronto. Actually, a city east of Toronto. Not technically part of Toronto, is my point there, for anyone who cares about Toronto. And they set up a bunch of random technology in like the break room. We used to watch movies. Someone would put a movie on during their lunch break. You can't watch a movie during a lunch break, so the movie would just stay on, and you would just always see these random snippets of movies. So, for example, I've never seen Star Wars Episode 3, but I know I've seen the climax of Star Wars Episode 3, and that's actually happened with a lot of movies, including like significant ones. My wife is like, "Remember this movie?" And I'm like I think I might have watched 1/3 of it. It's pretty normal for me to have seen 1/3 of a movie. Anyway, there was a PlayStation 2 set up there, and yeah, I got pretty good at that. And Kazuya was actually one of my very favorite characters. I was very happy to see Kazuya added to Smash Bros. Yeah, I liked Kazuya, and I liked Yoshimitsu. And I liked Yoshimitsu for, like, the fun of it. I wasn't actually good with Yoshimitsu. I just liked the 3-move combo where you would, like, catapult yourself across the entire battlefield, and then it ended with, like, a kangaroo kick. Oh. So, we got hit 32. Most of us did. Oh, I've been a bit of a dum-dum here. My character with 1 absorb and my character with 25 absorb got switched because of the poison. Okay, so if I now equip the rapier, damage goes down a few points. The hit rate's not high enough to make a difference. In fact, it's not different. Okay, I should probably get rid of that rapier, I guess. Alright, that's not going to matter for a little while. And everyone's level 5, even that character who died for a little bit. So that's exciting. My damage will have gone up pretty substantially here. Because I'll start seeing 2 hits. That was not 2 hits. Start doing it, guys. Yeah, there we go. There we go. See that? 2 guys killed an ogre. Kind of 3. One of them was just distracting. So now my top 3 knights on the screen are better offensively and defensively. Could I do the Marsh Cave yet, if it was a lot of running? I don't know. This is how you buy pure potions. I mean, heal potions. Thankfully, they're the same price everywhere. I don't need to go, you know, sailing across the world. Let's say that's enough. Do I want to gain another level? If I gain 2 more levels, and I mean, that's a lot of grinding, but it means that Hand Axe guy will have the extra hit. I feel like I should try my luck. I'm gonna do that. We just saved, let's see how it goes. I could even beeline. I mean, it's not like the chests are gonna do any good for me. There's some money, but the money amounts are like less than a Kaizoku fight, for the most part. There's a copper bracelet somewhere, I think. Oh, team. It would be good if you were better at running.